Rich, thank you so much for doing this today. How have you been doing lately?
Thanks. I'm good. Everything's great. It's a good time. Kids are great, wide open, family, business is going good, having a good time. We've got a good team assembled here. You know, at the behind the scenes here at Mayhem. So everything's great. It's 2021. 2020 is over, I guess. As soon as January 1st hit, everything went away and all those problems we had in 2020. So it's been great.
Yes, you just flipped the switch on the new year.
New year, new you.
It's just like the Xbox. You just start from new and yeah.
There it is.
There's
Reset
a lot,
button.
yeah, a lot to talk about here. So the first thing I want to address is just the announcement you just made regarding your new team members. How did that whole process come about?
Yeah, so honestly, we'd heard kind of the rumors that it was going to be Affiliate Cup. I have my own personal opinions. As much as I was against super teams in the beginning, I really enjoyed, and I think it was better for the sport. I think you could have done something cool, like continue to have the Affiliate Cup and do something like they do in golf, where the top 3 amateur teams get to compete with the super teams. But we're past that; those aren't the rules. That was kind of what I was hoping for, honestly. But like I said, I kind of had a feeling and an inkling, and as much communication as there has not been, that we were promised there was going to be. We'd kind of talked in the background with what was going to go on, and I'd been thinking about, all right, what's our best option here? And if we're being completely 100% transparent, 2020 and not competing really opened my eyes to what life is like off the competition floor, and maybe it's not that terrible after all. It's just who I am. I'm a competitor in my nature, and it's what I enjoy to do. It's what I love to do. But having a year off from that and spending a lot of time with the kids and really actually enjoying fitness instead of it being something I have to do. I'm like, hey man, I get to work out today, and I'm going to do something that I want to do instead of doing burpees all the time and smashing myself on machines. So I actually really enjoy fitness, which is pretty cool. And so to be honest, when some of the rules, I was starting to hear more things. I was like, you know what? I really don't care to compete this year. If that's going to be the rules, it's just, I think it takes away a little bit of the competition side, which I really, like I said, in the beginning, I was probably one of the bigger critics of the affiliate or the super team thing. And I think there is a huge place for the Affiliate Cup. And I love the community aspect of it and all that stuff. I think it could have been done a little better. Once again, not my place to do that. So we'll play within the rules and do the best we can with it. So back up a little bit. Chase is close. We knew there was. I'd heard, and I've got some inside sources as well. Knew that there was going to be some type of radius rule, I guess, around the gym. And Chase is basically, he is family. So great athlete, like I said, has been on independence for years. Taylor Williamson moved to Knoxville back last summer, I believe it was, to start PA school in Knoxville. And so those two were pretty much no-brainers. And then we were talking to Taylor about, what are the chances of, she knows any other girls. And I was leading into the question with Andrea because, Tasia's been pretty open about it recently. Just that she's kind of done competing, and she's an incredible athlete, incredible person, and is a huge value to us here at Mayhem, just behind the scenes, like I said, with Mayhem athlete stuff. She's helping us a lot on the Mayhem mission side, which is pretty cool. And so it was, it was hard. Like you feel bad, having those conversations, but, we were getting down to crunch time, and Tasia's been nothing but supportive of the whole deal. So we knew Andrea, like I said, and Taylor were super close, and we just didn't know where Andrea was as far as, if she was willing to move and do all that type of stuff. So all that being announced yesterday, and everybody, the whole internet meltdown of, we won't skip around that because it all happened. We believe we're playing 100% within the rules. I'm actually we're going to reach out to HQ and make sure everything was done correctly in the right time. I've heard, like I said, there's going to be a little bit of a grace period as far as some of the fine details from the January 1st rule, because it's the first year of this happening, and so we're gonna make sure. Like, here's the deal: everybody's calling us cheaters and all that stuff. The Open hasn't even started yet. None of us have even registered for the Open, so we're not cheating because there's nothing technically set in stone. So, like I said, I want to make sure everything's on the up and up, and that we're doing it 100% the right way, because we're not cheaters.
Yeah, and just to kind of like dig into some of the rules and stuff like that, because I found that I was engaging in some of that social media conversation.
No,
with,
yeah,
with,
I appreciate that.
With burner account number 1 and 2, and
yep.
There's and not just from in those instances, but generally speaking, I think there's a misunderstanding of the rules in terms of how they apply. We'll start the Jan 1 rule, what we used to call the 50% rule. You have to train more than 50% with those people from, measuring from Jan 1 to March 11th, which means, as long as they get,
which I think is incredibly vague and a stupid rule.
And
I'm going to go on the record for saying that.
Sure. And it's it's something that it was around in the past and things like that.
Yep.
I think the big question is, and this is what I saw repeatedly online, was the discussion around Andrea and Chase being the licensee of record, or LOR, for other affiliates. Now, the rule states that if you're an LOR at another affiliate and it's not changed over by Jan 1, then they're ineligible to compete on a different affiliate. However, this being the new year, and I speculated as much, and I want to see if you can confirm that given the fact that they published the rule after the deadline, it's kind of like a teacher walking into class saying, hey, that paper I assigned you, it was due last week, so you're all getting Fs kind of situation.
Exactly. So Chase is actually, he went ahead and was preemptive. He has the email thread and everything from previous to January 1 of trying to switch to LOR. It didn't actually get switched till I don't know the exact date, so I'm not going to throw those out there, but it was after January 1. Andrea's was switched after January 1. So we're, like I said, I'm going to make sure everything with HQ. We probably pulled the trigger a little too early on a really cool hype video, but hey, it worked. So everybody was hyped, and either hyped in a good way or hyped in a bad way, So Scott did an incredible job on that. But we're going to make sure everything's on the up and up, and we're doing it the right way, because, there's no reason in trying to, as much as, like I said, I'm not a huge fan of the rules, but you still got, those are the rules. Them's the rules,
I wanted to ask you about one thing, because I'm not someone who gives into the conspiracy thinking of, they made this rule because they're trying to, jam it to this guy. But when the affiliate rule did come out, I thought, for part of my brain did think, I think that they are not really upset. It wasn't their main goal, but I don't think they're really upset that this is going to break up the mayhem.
Yeah.
And I'm just wondering what your reaction to that was.
Honestly, when I look at it, I think open participation. That's what they're trying to get here. My personal opinion, that's what I feel like they're trying to do, is try to get as many affiliates. And if you're an affiliate and you don't feel like you have a chance, and, they lost a lot of that when everything switched over. And I'm all for getting more open participation and getting the affiliates involved and, making the community stronger and all those types of things. I just, I wish there was a little bit more discussion. It just hasn't, where we talked about we were going to have all this discussion and, we're going to communicate better and all that stuff. It just hasn't happened. And it's frustrating. As an athlete, I've tried to get this point across. Like, I'm trying not to complain or make it sound like I'm being a baby about it, or that my opinion's any better or has any more weight, but I have more perspective than 99% of athletes out there. I've competed on a team. I've competed as an individual for 5 years, competed on an affiliate cup team with 6, on an affiliate cup team with 4, invitational teams with 6, invitational teams with 4, as well as super teams with 4. So pretty much all of it, Yeah. I'm missing, I guess, the team. And then in 2 years, I'll be a master. So when we get there, maybe they'll take my opinion then.
Man, when you list it out like that, you're kind of like, oh yeah, got all the boxes checked.
Yeah. And we have this athlete council that, and I'm not like trying to put out that I should be on it, but, and I don't know if I'm not on it because I'm a current athlete as well, which I completely understand. But hey, Rich, what do you think of this? We're going to do this. I mean, I'd never got one of those. Yeah. So
that's interesting. And so obviously, you guys are taking the proper steps, and, this will all get sorted, I assume. And from what I understand, that, on some of the athletes' behalf, this has been the case with HQ as far as reaching out and getting allowances in the grace period like that. So assuming everything gets cleared, what was kind of the process in terms of, and you guys touched on it a little bit in the video, and I love that you addressed it directly. The irony of having two former rivals suddenly be on the team.
Yeah, I think I said it as well. Like Taylor and Andrea, you could just tell there was no love loss for years, and I like that, honestly. It's hard. It's hard sometimes to separate yourself and people, I guess, as competitors and normal everyday people, because you don't want to lose that edge. And Andrea kind of touched on that, where you kind of want to hold this grudge against somebody. I know it goes against the whole CrossFit community because we're all supposed to be friends and hug and all that stuff. And we can be that when we're not competitors. We just never saw them or knew of them outside of competing. And, we didn't really need that motivation to make us want to beat them, where that was their fuel. And so, I'm excited. Like I said, I like, especially in a female athlete, a little bit of what I call nasty in a good way. Like just, they want to compete, and they're going to give it all they've got. And, those two girls, I hate losing China and Tasia, super good friends, great athletes. But having those two as competitors on your team, I'll take that.
What was kind of what were those first conversations like when you're trying to, hi, I know you.
Yeah, hey, I know you hate me, but you want me on the same team? Yeah, no. So Taylor came over a couple times with Chase, just to work out. This was kind of back in early or late fall, early winter, and we kind of knew the rumors and stuff like that, and so Taylor actually mentioned it first. I mean, I was thinking it, but I didn't want to say it because I thought Andrea hated my guts. So I'm like, hey, Taylor, and Taylor's like, well, I think Andrea would probably do it. And I'm like, she doesn't like hate us. And she goes, no, she doesn't hate you. She just, it's just competitor. And like I said, I 100% connect on that and 100% understand that. So there's no hard feelings at all. Like we've trained a couple of times now together, and it's fun. It was funny. Just this past weekend, I joked about it in the video, and me and Taylor are partnered up on a workout, and Chase and Andrea on a workout, and Andrea kind of steps back on the rig, and I about kicked her, and Taylor's like, do it. So it just gives you a little insight into where they are. I'm like, that's good.
I like it. It's kind of
I
like,
didn't kick her.
There's no frills, there's no to the situation.
Nope. It's just like, hey, we know, they know, but now, we're good.
And so obviously there's kind of the process, the gelling process that goes with, being part of a team. And I think in the meantime, for us as analysts, we start to look at the different components. And one of the things that stands out is a lot of people just don't know Chase.
Yeah.
He competed at regionals once, he qualified on independence, and, my intel is that, he's got some things in his back pocket, his engine, his endurance that are particularly good. So what about him as an athlete made him like the attractive choice to kind of carry on this mantle?
Yeah, Chase is he'll beat me in a lot of workouts. Actually, he's super fit, really motivated too. He wants it, and that's a big piece of it. Honestly, like he's got the tools. The only knock on Chase would be his strength numbers, but we'll get him there. It's the moderate to heavy barbell stuff he can still do really well. It's just that top end stuff that he needs to work on. But as far as a teammate goes, the kid will run through a wall. You got to kind of back him down sometimes because he takes way too much caffeine in before an event. We're like, hey, chill out, man. Like so Heber. That's the only thing. Yeah, like Heber. So it's going to be fun. Like I said, he's been on independence teams, and so we have worked together and close with them. Like if we only had a certain of freedom and they only had a certain of independence, we would do workouts together. So I know Chase really well, and I know him as an athlete. So it's going to be pulling the reins back on him a little bit at times where he just is ready to run through a wall. So there's that piece of it, him as an athlete, but him as a person, and then him as family as well. I kind of touched on it a little bit with how hard he's worked, and I've seen the sacrifice that he's made. And so Somebody said it sounds like I'm making it sound like we're carrying him. I didn't mean like we're physically carrying him. We just want to get him up over that hump and get him into the games and on the podium. So he's going to definitely put in the work, and there's not going to be any like us actually carrying him. He's super fit and good enough. So well, I'm fired up. Like I said, Chase is a go-getter. So it's going to be fun.
You lose Tasia and China, obviously two very capable, very good athletes, but you replace them with another two very good, very capable athletes. And I'm just curious, what is the same between your new two female athletes and what's different between the old ones?
Yeah, I think, but the hard part is we just don't have the time. Like I've known China for years.
Mm-hmm.
I've known Tasia's lived here for years. So we had that, day in, day out. I know, mentally where they're at and that type of thing. So that's the piece that, we've trained a couple times together, and we're now, getting into the rhythm of training a lot more together with these girls. But you can almost say we were enemies up until, 2 months ago or a month and a half ago. So there's not much of a learning curve. They're awesome girls. Off the competition floor, obviously on the competition floor, their kind of record and their tenacity speaks for itself. So it's just those little things like in between, how it's going to go down, even the little things like, who needs more warm-up time, who's ready to go, like how do you warm up, those types of things. We'll kind of learn that as we go. And it's a learning. It's kind of fun though. It's for me, growing up as a team athlete, and playing sports, and then now just having to figure out people, and how to work with people and what motivates people. And some people are, you got to kind of, which with Tasia, you kind of had to talk to her and kind of love on her. I don't feel like yet. These two girls need that. They almost need like you to be mad at them. I don't know. Like we're still learning that because they're like I said, they're just different than Tasia and China, not in a bad way whatsoever. It's kind of a different challenge, which I like.
Speaking of team challenges, I got a question. What do I got to do to get on the cheap suits, the flag football?
Flag football. Come on, man, come try out.
I saw the the quarterfinal exit, and I'm a good deep threat, stretch the field.
I heard actually, I actually heard, man. That was a ton of fun. Like it's just I touched on the podcast. We go to CrossFit. I've been doing CrossFit things for years where everything's expected, like we're expected to win. We're expected to do, every event actually, it's like, it's a meltdown if we don't win a specific event. So it's fun to do. Like we did that off-road triathlon last year where there's no expectation. People are like, you didn't win it. And I'm like, no, like I'm not going to win an endurance event, but I had a ton of fun doing it. And it's like the flag football stuff. We played in the league for years here in Cookeville. And it's us and another team that are always in the championship. So we just took basically half of our squad on one team and half of their team and joined. So this was actually our first tournament together.
Nice.
And so, to get, there was 15 or 16 teams and the top 8 made it to the actual tournament. So, we would have liked to make it a little farther, and I think we could have. It's just those little things like communication and kind of learning each other. And, but man, you talk about some fun. It was so much fun. So we're and the cheap suits, the tuxedo t-shirts. So nobody wants to get beat by dudes in pink and tuxedo t-shirts.
Awesome team name.
That was pretty solid. You mentioned you talk a lot about being competitive, and I'm curious why you think that when you come out and you openly say, "Yeah, we're here to win. We're not here to have fun." Why some people sort of look sort of askew at that and say, wait a minute, no, that's not how we are here. And I'm just wondering why you think that is.
I don't know. How many years have we been doing this now? I think I'm going on 12, 13. And it's like, I've said it kind of from the beginning, like I'm not, and that's the thing when anybody wants to talk individual. Physically, I feel like, hey, yeah, I could do this. Mentally, I just don't have that drive to want to do it. And that's what's going to take me up and over the next level. Like that's the piece that's missing. I don't want to. There's just no part of me that wants to. On a team, I'll suffer and I'll give all I've got. But as an individual, I don't want to do that. And that's honestly, that's the separator between Fraser and some of these other guys is that want to and that drive. And so, yeah, I mean, I hate losing in anything. And I don't understand why it's hard for me to connect. And I've actually talked about this with Jim here at Mayhem. And it's like, it's hard for me to put into words when people are like, why are you so competitive? And I'm like, why are you not competitive? I don't enjoy just doing something to do it. I did talk about, hey, we did that triathlon and the flag football. We're still trying to win. Mm-hmm. I just don't have those expectations of like, there's always a target on my back and it has to be, we have to win. So it's fun to do those things, those different challenges that are still trying to win. I'm still giving it all I've got. Yeah. I mean, I know that my aerobic capacity could use a little bit more work in endurance stuff, but that's why we do those things.
And just along those lines, I think back to when, the famous you on the podium in second place and not looking happy about it, and how that blew up.
I'm such a poor sport, man.
I'm thinking like we don't watch other sports and see, Aaron Rodgers walking off the football field with a big smile on his face when he just got eliminated in the Super Bowl. And I'm just like curious why you think that doesn't translate to CrossFit.
Yeah, I think that people think, and the beauty of CrossFit, we've all talked about, we all know, is the community side of it. Mm-hmm. But it's okay to be upset to lose. Like I'm not going to be a poor sport about it and not shake anybody's hand, but I'm not going to be happy about it. I'm not going to sit up there and, accept it and not hang up the medal against our whiteboard for the whole next year. So we have something to motivate us in training. I don't understand. And I don't, and we talk a lot about, a lot of now, I guess we're getting into where more games athletes were previous sport athletes. But, back then, I guess, or even still now, a lot of the top level athletes didn't play a ton of high level sports. And so, I guess they didn't have that. I honestly, I don't know. I blame my parents. It's their fault. Just kidding. My parents are incredible.
Yeah. I've seen how competitive senior can get.
It's very the millennial thing for me to do, right?
Yeah. I mean, honestly, I think that's just I hope that it's just a part of the maturation process of the sport, right? I think very few sports are born out of this like community oriented movement to begin with. And I think out of the ether came this sport that, really is, has a claim very unlike a lot of other ones in terms of like the absolute claim, in terms of being the only one testing it. And there's no real other way. And I think over time, like you said, as the threads of other competitive sports and the professionalism at that level becomes woven into the fabric, I think we'll start to be able to do that. Now, Grant, I think the last couple of years maybe kind of jostled that up a little bit because for a lack of leadership, but
turned up. Yeah.
But it's interesting.
I always tell people, let's disconnect CrossFit as a training methodology from CrossFit as sport. Yes. In the gym, if somebody beats me in a workout, I'm not going to like be super mad about it, but it's in the gym and we're all, trying to get better and that type of thing, where in competition, it's different. It's completely different. And that's why I tell people, even when you talk CrossFit versus the CrossFit Games, you're talking about the top, I don't know, less than 1% when you look at the CrossFit Games. And people are like, well, your body, you're pretty beat up and blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, yeah, but look at any professional sport, like look at Major League Baseball or NFL versus guys that are playing softball on the weekend or playing flag football like we did. The injury rate, and when you're doing something for a profession, is completely different when you're doing it for, your well-being, I guess.
Yeah, for sure. It's tough. I don't think there's another sport that has such a direct parallel, maybe just pure running, where they look, there's like that big of a crossover in the Venn diagram, if you will.
Right. Where the professionals and the amateurs can do the exact same thing, really.
Yeah.
Like I can't go throw a ball with Tom Brady, which I'd love to, but I can't, or I can't put pads on and go do that. Whereas here, I'm just using what we call the Train with Rich weekend. We do exactly, everybody is doing the same thing. Obviously we're scaling for different athletic abilities and that type of thing, but same stimulus, all that. So yeah, it's just I think maybe that's probably as the crossover is so close in what we do with what the community at large does.
You mentioned just things being good for the sport, and Tommy and I have talked about this separately, but you look at what you've been able to do on the team side of things and the dominance that your teams have shown, and you look at what Matt's doing in the individual side and Tia's doing on the individual side. And there's a debate that we have had as to whether or not that's good. That dominance is good for the sport. What do you think?
It's good for me. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, you look at, use the example. We were watching the NFC Championship game this weekend. Tom Brady has been, I need to actually check this stats because somebody sent me a meme, but it says Brady has been in 10 Super Bowls in 21 seasons. Steph Curry, that was like 47% rate or whatever. Steph Curry hits threes at 43%. So Tom Brady is more likely to go to a Super Bowl than Steph Curry.
It is to hit a three, yeah.
Is to hit a three, yeah. Like, it's insane. So, the NFL is doing okay.
Defense won that game, so let's just be clear.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, he can't throw what he threw 3 picks in the second half or 2. Yeah, so they almost if you get into different things, but Green Bay wouldn't have, maybe give their MVP a chance to actually score a touchdown there. I'm a Brady guy. Like I just appreciate greatness, but that game might have been a little bit different.
Yeah, it's interesting. We've had that debate a ton because I think there's a give and take, right? Like excellence at the highest level, sustained excellence resets the bar and reframes the sport into what's possible. Yeah. And but at the same time, like as a sport,
people get bored.
yeah, for sure. And as the sport I think as the sport matures, we'll see less and less of that particular dominance. Maybe, like you go back in the early days of basketball, the Celtics were winning 8 in a row. They had these amazing runs in the NCAA with UCLA that just don't happen nowadays as the sport grows and the talent pool grows. But
I think it's, we use the metric if 50% of the people love you and 50% of the people hate you, that's what you want, right? Like you can't make everybody happy. Mm-hmm. And so, that's what you're going to see. You're going to want to see people that are supportive of Mayhem, of Tia, of Matt. And then you're going to see 50% of people that are probably like, hey, I want them to lose. Yeah. So, it goes back to you look at NASCAR too. So NASCAR with Jeff Gordon and Dale Earnhardt, the whole rivalry that was created there, but the two guys were friends, but they kind of played this off of like, good versus evil. I think it's good for the sport. So we got to figure the problem. Honestly, I think with CrossFit is we're missing a villain minus Dave Castro.
Oh man, I remember those Earnhardt and Gordon fans hated each other.
I grew up in that. My parents were hardcore Earnhardt fans, and so for some reason I hated Jeff Gordon. And until I got old enough where I was like, oh, he's not such a bad guy. But you're just like, as a kid or as it goes, that I hated Jeff Gordon. So
a lot of people did. I wanted to ask you about Haley Adams because I was one of the people who overlooked her last year, and I will never make that mistake again. Because she proved a lot to me, not only just in stage 1 of the games, but also stage 2. And a lot of people are already looking at her, I think us included, as someone who will one day stand on the individual podium for the women at the CrossFit Games. What makes her so good?
Oh man. How much time we got? No, Haley's incredible. She's an incredible athlete. She's got that, what we talked about earlier, that nasty. She's just a competitor to her core. She obviously, we can't discount genetics. Everybody, wants to say, well, hard work, you can get anywhere. You got to have some type of genetics. So she's got that, but she's got that mentality and that she'll do whatever it takes as far as, the kid, doesn't have a social life other than hanging out in the barn. She wants to just work out. And I'm like, there's like, especially this time of year with how long last season was, like yesterday we finished, kind of this 4-part little workout. She's like, what's next? I'm like, you're going home. And she's like, no, we got to do more. It's January. Calm down. Like I've been there. So that's what is the value of having me, I wouldn't say coach whatsoever, more of a glorified training partner, but hey, let's chill out. Like we're following kind of a Bergener strength cycle. We've been partnered with Coach B on that. And so hitting the heavy squats a lot. And so I'm like, hey, rest is actually good for you. Let's get some strength. You have all of the other pieces. We know we know there's one weakness if you have a weakness, and it's not a real weakness, but hey, let's make you stronger. And so, but man, it's fun to have her around and fun to see that, she's got what I feel like I was probably, 4 years after, because I started a little bit later, but she just wants to train and she'll do whatever it takes. She wakes up every morning and she wants to, win the CrossFit games. And so that's what it takes. And she has a support system to do that. And now she, is making some money doing some stuff with sponsors and stuff. So she's going to put in the work. And so I'm excited to be a part of that. Before last year, I probably wouldn't have ever seen myself as a quote unquote coach. But yeah, I'd still need probably Tasia to tag team and for the emotional side of it, because I'm not good with that. Tasia was joking yesterday because me and Haley are just going at it, and she's like, "You guys are like brother and sister," because I'm not looking forward to when my daughters hit those teen years. So.
Yeah,
I am not good with that.
Oh man. Well, yeah.
That's why I was convinced I was going to have a daughter, because I was like, I like that's just karma. Yeah.
Yep.
I got lucky on that one.
I was gonna say, may have to lean on Hillary a little bit there. On
yeah.
Side,
oh, but Hillary for sure. She's good with Haley. But like I said, Tasia's definitely, and it is a team, kind of a team aspect there. Is like Tasia will kind of take what I say and soften it for Haley a little bit. Where I'm not the best at, I was never, I blame my parents. It was always shot straight. And there was never, I don't know if you ever, my dad well enough to know that it was never sugar coated with anything. So,
yeah. And you kind of bring up something interesting about not seeing yourself as a coach maybe before last year. But one of the things that's I've been tossing around with Sean a little bit is the Mayhem legacy and the Mayhem impact in the next 5 years, 10 years, as eventually, the competitive career steps aside, what do you see for yourself, for Mayhem, for the environment and the impact on the sport, like once that happens?
Yeah. I honestly, I would love for Haley to stick around and see if we can help her and get her to that next level. She's already there. Like, I don't want to say get her to the next level. She's already there, but kind of get her up over the top. And onto the podium, like you said. She's incredible. She fits in well. She's, with our culture, with who we are, she's awesome. So, like I said, we've got Sam Cormier. So he's really fit, really good guy, obviously in Canada. Would love to get him, closer to here if we could, if that ever happens, and with COVID and all that stuff. So incredibly talented athlete as well. And just a good dude, obviously we want people that are really good athletes, but a good person and fits in well with who we are and what we're trying to do here at Mayhem. So, like I said, I don't know what that's going to look like in the future. It's something that in the last couple of years, I know that time is undefeated. And like I said, even if, the body holds up, my mind, I'm kind of like, what? I'd rather, the kids are getting to that age where, they want to start playing some sports and stuff. And, let's do that. It's kind of where I was in my individual career. I'm getting close to on the team career, where I feel like, physically I feel pretty good. Mentally, there's some days where I'm like, what? I'd rather just kind of go jump on the trampoline with the kids versus hop out to the barn. So, and we kind of talk a lot about, who we are here at Mayhem and our values and faith, family, fitness, and service. And so family's number 2 there. And, I got to make sure that I'm not compromising on those things.
And one of the ideas that kind of came to my head, I'm curious what your thoughts are on it. I spoke with Ben Bergeron a couple weeks ago about a comp train academy that he's trying to build.
Yeah, I saw that. Yeah.
And I'm curious if something like that would ever be in the cards, because I think naturally people start thinking, okay, well, if this level of professionalism, this developmental process kind of lays roots, where are some of the hubs and people that naturally people want to gravitate to? And obviously Mayhem and Cookeville is one of them. So I'm just kind of curious if that's something that has maybe popped up in the head at all.
Yeah, we've talked about, trying to get some land. We have the land at the house. I wouldn't put it there, but we've talked about trying to buy some land, maybe putting some type of smaller housing on it, and then having a big barn or a big gym and allowing people to come out, for extended periods of time and that type of thing. We've talked about it, just haven't really pulled the trigger on it. I don't know where that's at. I would enjoy that. I like being around people that share a similar, mentality, like I said, and it would be good probably for, Haley or some of those others when I'm not able to train at the level that I am right now to have other people to push them. So it's delicate though, it's tough when you get a bunch of athletes that compete on a professional level. You see some of these hubs where, I guess in Nashville, Brooke and Street and Alec are all over there. I think that works, I guess, because the genders are switched. And so they're not direct competitors, although they can push each other. Whereas if you get direct competitors on the same level together, one, you're going to just, run each other into the ground. And then two, I don't know. I just see some trouble there. As much as we want to say kumbaya in the CrossFit community and all that stuff, it's just tough. Like you got a bunch of alphas and nobody wants to give, and you're going to have some fireworks. So it's tough. That's I want to respect. Like I said, we talked about bringing in some other athletes, but I was like, you know what, Haley and Sam are our kind of two right now. I'd rather not upset kind of what they have going on in the balance there, and make it weird, because that's the last thing I want to do is just have a bunch of just weirdness in the background. So I don't know how those academies will work and all that type of stuff. In theory, it sounds awesome, but in practicality and how it would work, honestly, I thought it would be more cool as like, hey, kind of a weekend getaway or a week getaway where people, CrossFit community, just people that do CrossFit could come out, hang out. We have an athlete or two out there that are working out. They could jump in with them, after the first couple days of pictures and stuff. It wouldn't be weird after that. And then you could just kind of, it'd be fun. So I don't know. That's more of, I think would be cool than an actual like structured, I think of it as like a military camp, like military school. So I don't know.
You mentioned, the 50-50 rule. 50 people hate you, 50 people love you. You're doing your job. You've been a part of a couple things recently, the Matt thing, and then now where, you've received some people have said things online about you that, weren't very nice. And I understand you have to look at that. It's the internet. It's a small group of people, but how do you not let that affect you?
I haven't been on social media since March. I do. Yeah. I don't have it on my phone. I still make the posts from my account, through Hootsuite. But I can't get on there. I can't check comments. I can't do any of that stuff. And you talk about how freeing that is just mentally. And, you're not, because, as much as you want to say that stuff doesn't bother you, you start reading and clicking, you're like, wow, people do hate me. Like, what's going on here? So, it's been, like I said, it's been incredible for me to just disconnect from social media. I still, I'll check our YouTube videos and I see all those comments, but as soon as I feel myself going down that rabbit hole, I'm like, shut it off. Like I joke 50-50. It's a smaller percentage, I hope of that, that hate me, but it is, you can't make everybody happy. You try to be a good person, try to do the best I can, with what we've been given, and we're all human, and, we all make mistakes, and, try to apologize when I screw up, and I know I screw up, and we'll try to move on from there. So, that the Matt thing, was unfortunate. We're 100% good now. There's a lot of miscommunication, and, I apologize for some things in the beginning. I've got 3 kids. I was going through an injury when he first moved here. My family's grown by 1 probably every year that he was here. And so a lot of that was just miscommunication and my fault in that. And so we're 100% good. And so that's over. And it just sucks that it was a public thing when, I would have rather it stay private and, hey, us handle it face to face. So, but the team thing, people are going to hate you. Like I said, if you win, and it is what it is.
Final question. I know you guys always go out and compete with a chip on your shoulder. How does what has happened over these past couple of days affect the size of said chip going into this season?
Burn it down. Like one of my favorite gifts, I guess. You guys watch Yellowstone at all?
No.
Yeah.
Oh man, Sean.
Yeah,
you gotta watch Yellowstone. But there's one that John Dutton just says, "Burn it." That's it. Burn it.
All right. Well, as always, Rich, we appreciate the time. It's always great talking to you, man. Best of luck with the team. Best with the family, and I hope everybody there's doing well. And we look forward to seeing you out on the competition floor soon.
Awesome, guys. Yeah, come hang out, come visit soon.
We'd love to. All right. Thanks, Rich.